Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down a sermon from a Korean American church that does something, well, pretty remarkable. It takes this ancient story, one filled with betrayal and survival, and somehow transforms it into a practical blueprint for building a strong community right now.
I mean, really, how do you take a story that's thousands of years old and make it actually mean something to people today? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. We'll see how this sermon uses a biblical story, not just as, religious lesson, but as this incredibly powerful tool for the community to look at itself and even gain some really relatable psychological insights. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll set the scene. Then we'll get into the sermon's big idea, this concept of helping hands. From there, we'll jump into the ancient story it's all based on, check out the very modern psychology of the king in that story, and finally, see how it all ties back to building a refuge in the modern world.
Okay, first up, a look inside the sermon, focusing on gratitude and community at this year-end service. So, the setting is really important here. It's December 30th, right? Everyone's already thinking back on the year. And the speaker, very smartly, doesn't start with some heavy, abstract theology. Nope. They start by grounding everything in real, shared memories from the past year. It's a way to get everyone on the same page right from the get-go.
So what does that look like? Well, the speaker starts talking about these shared wins from the year. Things like a vacation Bible school that went way better than anyone expected, or a kid's Christmas concert that apparently had the whole place in tears. And what this does, you see, is it builds this really strong foundation of we did this together. It's all about shared gratitude and good vibes before they even get to the main point.
Okay, so once that foundation of gratitude is set, the speaker introduces the sermon's big idea, its core theme. And it all hinges on this one really powerful Korean phrase, Dopnin Songgil.
So what is Dopnin Songgil? Well, it literally translates to helping hands. It's all about those acts of support, the aid, the encouragement you get from the people around you. And this concept, this becomes the lens through which the entire ancient story is viewed. It's the thread that's going to tie the past to the present and make it all incredibly relevant.
And this leads to the central thesis of the whole sermon, summed up in this idea: a community with endless helping hands will never collapse. I mean, think about that. This isn't just storytelling anymore. It's a powerful argument. The message is crystal clear. The real secret to a community's strength, its ability to survive anything, is how much its members help each other out.
So, to really drive this point home, the sermon dives into an ancient story of survival. We're talking 1 Samuel, chapter 19. It's this classic tale of a young hero, David, who's on the run for his life, being hunted by the jealous and paranoid King Saul. It's a real pressure cooker situation. But here's the twist the sermon focuses on. David doesn't get out of this by himself, not by a long shot. He's saved again and again by a network of helping hands. And get this, they're all from inside the enemy camp. You've got Prince Jonathan, Saul's own son, who sticks up for David. Then there's Princess Michal, Saul's daughter and David's wife, who literally helps him escape out a window. And finally, the prophet Samuel, who gives him a safe place to hide. It's an incredible support system.
Okay, now this is where things get really, really interesting. We're diving into the psychology of the king. The sermon takes a look at King Saul's motivations, but it does something brilliant. It shifts the explanation for his behavior from something supernatural and ancient to something deeply psychological and, well, super modern. And here's the key move. The ancient text says Saul was tormented by an evil spirit. Now, instead of just taking that literally, the sermon translates it. It asks, what does an evil spirit look and feel like today? And the answer? It's primal fear. It's that gnawing insecurity. It's a massive inferiority complex that just explodes every time David gets a win. Suddenly, this ancient king's problem feels very, very familiar.
To make this even more real, the sermon points to this one incredible detail from the story. Saul, the king, is sitting in his own house, the one place he should feel safe, and he can't let go of his spear. That's not just a detail, it's a perfect picture of what crippling anxiety looks like. It shows a mind completely trapped by paranoia, unable to rest. It's just a devastating image of what's going on inside him.
And this leads to the sermon's final and maybe most powerful move, building a modern refuge. This is where the ancient story isn't just the story anymore. It's brought right into the present day, into the lives of everyone sitting in that room.
So how does he do it? It's actually pretty simple, but so effective. The speaker draws a direct line from all those people who helped David straight to the members of the church. He looks at them and says, essentially, that their support, their prayers, their kind words, that's been his Dopnun Songgil,
his helping hands through the tough times.
And with this one line, "You have been my Jonathan, my Michal, and my Samuel," it all just clicks into place. See, he's not just thanking them. He's turning everyone in that room from a passive listener into an active, crucial character in the community's story. He's telling them that their small acts of support are actually heroic.
So in the end, what we have is so much more than a sermon, right? It's a blueprint for building a strong community. You take an old story to help understand today. You reframe these big, complex ideas into psychological terms we can all get. You start to see community support as this powerful, active thing. And the result? You build real resilience for whatever comes next. It's a masterclass in weaving it all together. And that kind of leaves us with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? What are the stories that your community uses to find meaning? You know, in your family, at your job, in your circle of friends, what are the stories you all tell each other to make sense of things, to remember why you're together, and to remind yourselves that, hey, you've got each other's backs?